the globe. Welcome to the Melbourne studios of M4TV with Let's Connect. From the great cities of New York to Milan, from London to Sydney, from Mumbai to Bangladesh, it's the same thing, Corona or COVID-19. The headlines for today: UK coronavirus advisor resigns after breaking lockdown rules. 3 Russian doctors fall from hospital windows, raising questions amid coronavirus pandemic. French doctors say they found a COVID-19 patient from the month of December 2019. Venezuela claims to have captured 2 Americans involved in failed invasion. 2 weeks of zero local infection. How did Hong Kong contain its second wave of COVID-19? That's the world headlines, but here, the world is being fighting hard from every part of the world. The airports are shut. The biggest cities are completely closed. The countries are into lockdown. People are staying home to contain the great pandemic which has really ruined the whole universe. With us today, we have a very special, exclusive people. Very special, let me tell you, on Let's Connect from the studios, Melbourne studios of M4TV. The representative of one of the associations which was officially formed in 1976 by a group of Malayalis, Ojan friends during a picnic trip attended by 25 families. The real voice of the Sydney Malayali communities and its activities are designed to promote the rich and vibrant culture of Kerala to the Malayali communities in Sydney. And we are proud and we are blessed, the M4TV on Let's Connect, to invite the Sydney Malayali Association representative, the President Mr. KP George and Secretary Mr. John Jacob to Let's Connect. Very good evening, sir.
Good evening and namaste.
Namaste, namaste. Very good. How are you doing?
Very good, Finny. It's nice to meet you at least from a distance from here.
Thank you. Absolutely. It was really gracious that you have given us your time on Let's Connect. So it's our blessing. Our viewers are really eager to listen from what you have been doing, your community has been doing. At first, before we start, let me tell you, Australia has been doing really great thing. Out of 6,000 cases, the positive cases, at this stage 804 are only active cases in the whole round of Australia. Australia has really flattened the curve. What's your viewpoints on that?
Well, Australia really did well, because although they started very slowly, Australia has caught up, and Australia is very exemplary at the moment, and we have things under control, like the whole nation is under control. I think we have to give a lot of credit for that to the current government, and moreover, the national cabinet. That's what the surprise that I have for Australia, that it has never ever been done. Australian national cabinet, that is the Prime Minister and all the premiers of the state and the territory leaders, everybody has come together, and we have achieved. Australia can be very proud of that. They have flattened the curve.
That's really amazing. The statistics, the research, the records show that yes, we are flattening the curve. The work done by Australian leadership was absolutely great. The health professionals, the leadership of each premiers of the state has really marked a history into the country of Australia. How are the way the community is being handling the lockdown situation from Sydney, NSW? Our viewers would love to hear that.
Well, Sydney in particular, our Malayalee community has been very successful to handle this particular situation. I think the Malayalee community, the Malayalee Association here, should be quietly proud about what we have achieved so far. The 2 things that I want to mention here, Finny, is that the unity of purpose that we had, and the unity of purpose along with the community working behind it with lots of volunteers.
Great.
So we could have done this, without much thinking. We just formed up a particular volunteer group for this, called the Community Response Group. and community response team, in fact. We call it CRT in short form. And we have 9 regions in Sydney, the city regions and the country region, the 9th one. So we took a lot of planning for this, and our unified effort has paid a lot of fruits for that by helping our own people in the Malayalee community, the students, particularly the overseas students who have come in numbers in Sydney, various universities, and the general public. We had different groups of particular needs, like the medical, the social needs, the psychological and psychiatric needs, travel, and visa needs, and etc., and real estate needs, even for some extent. So we had different types of people included in that group of CRT, working pretty much into one unified action. That was our success.
That's really great, very great, absolutely wonderful to hear that. We had been, based on our researches, we have found that SITMAL, the community organization in Sydney, we are really proud of you. You have been doing a really great job for the communities, especially from the people who migrate from the state of Kerala. To our researchers, we found that during COVID-19, SITMAL was able to organize a great work for the international student, especially by coordinating with a person called Lisa Johnson from Wollongong, and you have done a great indeed work for the international students. What do you have to say on that?
Yes, Lisa has been an excellent volunteer for us, and with her help we distributed about 110 packs of food to Wollongong University students there. She has been a very, very big helpful factor in that, in our distribution. We hardly knew many of the students, but for that reason we have been trying to plead with the state as well as the federal government, and to help those international students. And as Scott Morrison, just told them to go home, but it's easy to say to go home, but those students are a big part of our economy here, and billions and billions of dollars come. On that basis, we had a meeting with Jodie McKay, and she called for a meeting that the New South Wales opposition, and she has been a big help to stand by us, and we submitted over 450 signatures to the federal government. Right. Representing the international students. I hope something will come out of that for the good. Now, Jodie McKay, particularly, I like to mention her name here. Usually, we don't have any affiliation with the political parties, but Jodie McKay, being the immigration minister for the state government here, she has been a wonderful ally for the purpose of helping international students. And we had a meeting. There was a media segment the other day, last week, last Thursday to be precise. And while your government in Victoria has done $1,100 per student, Absolutely. We haven't caught up with that kind of progress here in New South Wales. I hope with Jodie's and other people's pressure on the government here in New South Wales, we expect that to be bearing fruit in the future.
That's really amazing to hear that the works even done in Sydney are well known even from the city of Melbourne. We have been getting reports that you have been doing a really great job even for the people who are really in need even at this COVID-19 stages. And recently even SITMAL has been organizing some functions, not functions like online things, which is known as a connect through programs. Could you please explain on that?
Yes, Finny, the program is called SITMAL Connect, Sydney Malayalee Association Connect.
Great.
See, we could not have any functions, nor we could approach anybody. As you know, the whole nation has been in lockdown. So we are pretty apprehensive about approaching this, our first program, having done nothing like that sort in the past. But we saw the success. In the first meeting, we had about on a Zoom meeting telecast, we had about 65 plus people attending that, and everybody was so much taken up that we could present our programs to the community, and we could tell the community what we were doing behind all this COVID-19 time. So they were very much thrilled and taken up by that kind of initiative from us. And then last week, a week ago, we had our second Sidmal Connect, where Mr. Justice Pudian Joseph was our main guest from Delhi, and his speech was very inspirational. We had a social worker called Bini, I think, I can't remember the name, but she did present a wonderful program, the difficulties of our students, all the various categories of our community people. That was very enlightening to all of us. Then there was dedication, a song that was composed by one of our members here in Sydney, called The Angels. What was it, Jacob? What was it called? The Angels of... anyway, I can't remember the program the name of the program right now, but that was well recorded and written by one of our members. It was converted into a song and videoed in Kerala, and that was played upon, and that was a beautiful presentation of our program. Then there were part of it, our other program was the Vishu program that we all Keralites enjoy, and we could not, other than having a minor celebration of that on a telecast, but it was a fantastic event that we feel that into the future we can have. Our next one is on the 13th of next month. It's coming on a Saturday, and we are thinking of inviting somebody, a well-known character from India again. So Bhumile Malaga. I was coming back to that particular, I just came back, Bhumile Malaga. That was mainly dedicated to the frontline health workers of our Sydney people here. So all in all, it was generally an excellent program, Finny. And next time, I'm pretty sure you would have seen that as well.
True.
So I don't need to put an introduction to that. Anyway, we will keep continuing doing that program into the future for a few more telecasts.
Absolutely, it was really great to hear that. Actually, you have been doing a great job when there have been hundreds of associations across in Australia. You are one of the most recognized ones. That's the reason we have selected. We said, yes, we have to tell the audience, we have to tell our viewers across the globe, Sidmal is something different to others. That's the reason you have been here. As in Australia, we hail from the goats. We hail from the goat's own country. You know, even India has been doing really a great job in containing the COVID-19. What's your thoughts? How Kerala government is being able to work on this COVID or Corona situation?
Well, Kerala government, like Australia, has a comparison there. I think the current Pinarayi Vijayan government has done a great job. They have, particularly, I'll give a lot of credit to the Health Minister Shailaja, and she's a very, even looking back on her history as a teacher, she came forward to dedicate her time and efforts for the state as such, and we have to really appreciate Shailaja for that. And because of that, Kerala has become a world model to the rest of the nation and to the rest of the world. So we can be very quietly proud of our achievements about Kerala and the Keralites, what they are doing during this time. I think they have followed the instructions of the government, and as we could see, you know, in the beginning they thought these things are all for fun, but now they would have understood the seriousness and the efficacy of having followed up those instructions. I really salute Kerala and the Keralites government, Kerala government, for achieving this kind of great mileage.
It's true, absolutely. As per our conversation, as you have said, the government led by Pinarayi Vijayan absolutely has to be saluted. They have done really a great job. We do understand. Even not only during COVID, even based on our researches, we have found that when Kerala faced a drastic flood in 2019 and 2018, Sitwal played a big role in a contribution to the government of Kerala. Our viewers would love to hear that. What was your contribution from there?
Well, Finny, yes, the minute when the floods arrived in Kerala and destroyed many of our homes and land and people were in great strife, I remember, Jacob, as well, we immediately called for a meeting, and we did that in typical style. It was a rainy day, right in the heart of Sydney. That is Martin Place. Those who know Sydney would remember Martin Place very well. That is the hub, the main hub of Sydney, and I don't know what in comparison in Melbourne would be, but Martin Place is well known to everybody. And we had a lot of assistance from the local government here in New South Wales. Many of the ministers joined us, and there were at least about over 1,000 people on a short notice to come and attend in spite of the rain. It was a national program. A few television people came. All we did that day was just to give the people an awareness of what we intend to do for our Keralites and the flood affected people back in Kerala. Well, it was a success story for, and we are very proud of what we did and what we achieved. And personally, I went the previous December when I went home. I went to a few places where it was affected by flood waters, and out of the 3 or 4 places that I visited, I chose a place near Ernakulam, and the place name is called Kadamakudi. Kadamakudi is a fisherman's village where they had nothing sitting on top of their yard or something, because all the houses were very much affected by the flood waters. So we selected that place, and we had our contracts done with the local authorities there, and we are very proud to tell you and your listeners now that we have already completed 2 houses there. The third one is in progress, and we have another one in progress at Palakkad, and then there will be another one at Alapi. Pulangadi, a place called Pulangadi, where it will be a water project that we are going to build. We have to get the papers done on that still. So our target is we are achieving that. Meanwhile, this COVID came, and in between, when the fires came down here, Sydney Malayalee Association has been out and in the front of things there to support them financially to the government, and then unexpectedly we all came with this big pandemic called Covid-19. So we are hard working at it to help as many people as we can, and the association for last 4.5 decades nearly has been absolutely in action all these years, and I'm very proud to be, and Jacob was part of it most of the time. Myself also have been part of it, and I have a wonderful team of people. All of us have got that one purpose in mind: unity, always. And I should congratulate all of my committee members. And the reason mainly for our successful story is the unity that we forgo our egos and work for the community. I have to especially comment on my committee on this matter. Without their help, nothing would have. It gives me goosebumps to say that, because they have been the backbone of our association, and dedication is their #1 priority.
Great, great. It was really great to hear that. Thank you. The team SITMAL, the committee members, the executives, the people who are voluntarily working behind this great SITMAL, Sydney Malayalee Association. We are really proud of you. We're really proud of you. SITMAL used to and every time helps a lot of new migrants, anyone who's moving to NSW from the state of Kerala. Is that right?
Well, I like Jacob to say that, or
Finny, I also want to thank the volunteers that have been helping us. There has been a team of volunteers, very dedicated volunteers. Without their help, we could not have achieved anything.
Well, the question to you, the answer to your question, when new people arrive, they like New South Wales. Well, it used to be the premier state in Australia, as you know, and it's still the premier state. Melbourne cannot steal any of our glory anytime. So we are still the premier state, and it will remain like that. And Sydney, the harbour city of the jealousy of the world, is really stands to credit to deserve that people coming to Sydney and New South Wales would be always will be very proud to be in New South Wales. And we welcome as many as we can, and we have got a big help desk when people arrive here. That is a very well arranged help desk, whether it is, even to find a bed for the night, or any food help, any accommodation help. All kinds of things are taken care by our help desk when anybody new arrives, or even before they come to Sydney. They know about SITMAL, Sydney Malayalee Association. They contact us, and we always look after those people.
That's really great to hear that every part of work done by SITMAL to the community for the people who hails from the state of Kerala doing absolutely great. These questions were made by our research, what we have found about the SITMAL, the great work SITMAL has been doing. Before we end, let me tell your viewers, for most of the states in Australia has opened up, except Victoria, which hasn't opened until May 11. The restrictions has been lifted in NSW as well. What are the restrictions, and how well are you handling the situation?
Well, the restrictions are still on here. Probably, perhaps, the footy season, New South Wales is pretty famous. This is the footy season, and they're all waiting for the footy, but there won't be any audience going to see the games. That's one. The schools would be reopening from next week, but there would be a few classes. Not the whole school would be reopening, but I think from what I know, the certain classes would be allowed a particular day, and the other classes following day, like that. So it will be a slow process, the restrictions. But before I go into that, New South Wales didn't have that many coronavirus cases until the ships came around, and over 2,000 people they were affected by that. They brought in quite a few corona cases into Sydney. So out of that, many people died. And then there was a particular hospital, nursing home, where there was a particular staff who was affected by that, unknowingly was working there, and the nation doesn't know about all that. So they are the two main things that contributed for the higher number of corona cases and the deaths here. The Premier gives every day, like your Premier is at 8 o'clock, there is every day, there is a short appearance of the Premier giving the story for the day and the events that happened in the last 48 or 24 hours, like that. So there is a catch up every day. I listen to that. Slowly but surely, I think it will be coming to life. And
absolutely,
people are waiting for it.
That's really great. The work's being done by you, especially for the community to the country Australia, is being absolutely great. There's no words out of thanks. We have to say that, the people who hails from Kerala have been playing a big part in containing the COVID-19, even from the city of Sydney. So what's your general advice to our viewers, to our public, to stay safe on this COVID-19?
Well, by this time, I think our public, the whole nation should know, without anybody's advice, that what they are supposed to do and how they are supposed to behave. I think the distance keeping and hand washing, people cannot take it for granted that these are there for a reason. And Sydney and surrounding areas has been, as far as I know, has been very much following those instructions from the government. And those who have disobeyed and things like that, even some foodie players have been fined heavily here, and all those who have been, not following those instructions have been caught up, and the government has taken the proper steps for them.
Thank you, Sydney Malayalee Association's President Mr. KP Jose and Secretary Mr. John Jacob for your great time sharing your viewpoints on perspective from your Sydney Malayalee Association on our M4TV's Let's Connect. It was a blessing, and we are really thankful to you, and we are happy to say that we are proud of you. Hope and we wish we will get well soon. The borders will be open. We will be flying back again, and we will contain this COVID-19. This pandemic will finish. Yes, we will overcome. Thanks a lot for joining us on M4TV. Thank you once again. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Thanks for giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye-bye.
வணக்கம் M4TV நேயர்களே, நான் உங்க பாலா.
நான் உங்க நம்ரதா. பாலா, ஒரு எக்ஸைட்டிங்கான நியூஸ் நான் சொல்லட்டுமா?
கண்டிப்பா சொல்லு கேட்போம்.
M4TV is launching their commercial soon.
வாவ், கேட்கறதுக்கே செம எக்ஸைட்டிங்கா இருக்கு.